If you go all the way back to March of 2019, which were my first two BookTube videos, one was why I decided to read The Wheel of Time, and the second one was my review for The Eye of the World, you will find at least a couple dozen comments about, well, good the hell luck when you get to Crossroads of Twilight. I have heard fear-mongering about this book since the first moment I said I was going to talk about it. Well, we've come to it at last. The great slog of our time. Is it going to be as bad as I've heard? Let's find out. Let's talk about what I'd like to see. Hey, what's up, bookworms and wheelies? Mike back again to talk some more Wheel of Time. And this time we're going to be talking about my wish list for the dreaded Crossroads of Twilight. Now, like I said in the prelude to this video, I feel like everyone has been warning me about this book since the first moment. I mean, even before I decided to read this series, I heard, yeah, you know, those middle to late books are kind of rough. I got something on the microphone. It's driving me crazy. Gotta love live video. Everybody's warned me about this since before I even started. And every single review that I've done for this book, everyone has been talking about, oh man, but when you get to the slog, oh man, you know, the slog has went from, it was book 10, and then it went from it's book 9 to 10, then it was 8 to 10, 7 to 10. It's pretty much, it's just something that has just grown on a life of its own. I've said, I didn't think that there was that big a deal with Crown of Swords. I actually like Crown of Swords a lot. Path of Daggers, yeah, probably my least favorite Wheel of Time book, but I still didn't feel like it was because it was sloggy. I just felt like, watch that review, you'll understand. I just did my review for Winter's Heart. You can find out what I didn't care for in that book. So yeah, I can see where the story did slow down and seem like it lost direction. But I feel like it's been built up for me so much about how uneventful this book is that I don't see how it could be a disappointment at this point. I don't know. We'll talk about that. But even though everyone has told me, yo, nothing happens in this book, like at all. Like you could seriously read a 2-sentence Wikipedia entry about it and get everything. I'm a completionist. I'm going to read it. I'm not going to read a wiki or anything. But it does feel a little silly to be doing a wish list for it. But you know what? Tradition dictates that I must do this. I've been doing this since I picked this series back up with Crown of Swords late last year. And so I'm going to keep doing it. So even if it's just laughable and if some of this is a repeat of my previous wish list, it happens. It happens. So it's obviously going to be a little bit of a shorter wish list this time because I'm tired of repeating the same thing every time I do one of these videos. But let's go. Let's go. Number one, I need the White Tower Schism to conclude. I know I keep saying it, but it needs to end via a battle or a treaty of some sort. It's gone on for 5 or 6 books now, where it's like, okay, what do we do? Okay, they're the bad guys, we're the good guys. Oh, we've got a new Armelin. Oh, okay, well now it's nothing. Path of Daggers was 400 pages of them deciding to go to war. I don't even really remember what they did in the last book, so it just tells you, I need that to conclude one way or another. If they need to have a big-ass battle, sure, go for it. If they need to sit down and hash things out and write a treaty, okay, just let's conclude. Next up, I want to know how Rand is going to adjust to life with 3, maybe 4 women in his life. You know, we had already been bonded by Alana, and then you got now you got Avienda, Elaine, and Min all bonded to him. So I'm interested to see how that works. You know, when we saw in the last one how uncomfortable it can be when intimacy is involved, because, you know, everybody can experience this. I mean, you kind of almost want to throw Brigitte in there too, since she's bonded to Elaine. So yeah, Rand, good luck, bro, because I don't know how you're going to deal with this. You know, most guys will be like, hey, it doesn't sound so bad to me. You obviously haven't been married. Try doing that with 3, 4, maybe 5 women. It's more than just the fun parts. Let me get that out there to you. Especially since it seems like how much everyone is just at each other's throats sometimes in these books. So I'm curious to see how that's expounded upon. I'd like to see some kind of change other than, oh, I just love all 3 of you. And they're like, oh, he loves us, the end. I don't think it's going to be that easy. I really, really don't. So I'd like to see some growth in that department. If we're not going to have a lot of action in this book, we're just going to have some character development. I need to see how that works, and I think we'll get some of that. We'll see. Next up, this is my biggest wish of all. If you've watched the previous couple of reviews, you know this is a big one for me. Matt finally getting out of Ibudar is huge, but it's mostly because I need him to get away from rapey McRapeface Tylan. I'd like to see him get a kind of a non-toxic romance situation here with Tuan. I'm sure it's not going to be easy because no relationships in this book are easy. They're either very adversarial or they're, hey, we're just got to be together because the author has dictated we should be together. I'm hoping that this will be, like I said in my review for Winter's Heart, I feel like this needs to be the first organic relationship that actually happens to keep me invested in this. I know there are so many people that really, really love the relationship between Matt and Tuan, so I'm hoping it gets some of this. I definitely, but right now it's just just getting away from Tylan, like I said at this point, is a step up for me because I couldn't take another book of that and the arguing that seems to be attached with that. Again, watch those reviews for my ranting about Tylan and about the divided fan base, about Matt deserving it or not. Anyhow, I say I'm not going to rant about it, and I almost do every single time. This is definitely a repeat. I need to see the end of the Shido. They have no point in this story anymore. If they didn't end when Couladin got killed, I feel like it should have ended at Dumai's Wells. It doesn't make sense. Savannah is the most boring character in this book, not named Morghese. Okay? I do not need any more of them. Do something, Perrin. Do something. There. That's what I want to see. Just do something, Perrin. If we get another thing where we get like last book, where it's kind of a relief that it was only like a couple of chapters at the very beginning, then you hear it begin. I don't need a couple of chapters in this book, and then that's it, and then that means it's got to come back in the next book. Good God, end this arc. End this arc. I need the Shido gone. I need Perrin to be a player again in this universe other than just mad or jealous or upset about his wife. I need this to happen. I know I keep saying it over and over again, but nothing changes, so I'm going to keep bringing it up in these wish lists until hopefully something happens. In that regard, I say, help me, Brandon Sanderson. You're my only hope. Even though I do know it is Robert's story, and I know that he did have these resolutions planned. I'm just hoping that they get there as I'm running out of Robert Jordan books. I'd like to see the Forsaken get a win. You know, I talked in the last video about how they were just a straight clown show. I feel like this is the second or third time where they've proven themselves just to be complete buffoons. I need them to kind of have a win here. I need a Mazrim Tame reveal. Is he one of the Forsaken masquerading as another face? I need to know these things. And I need the Forsaken to do something right. I understand what everybody tells me about, like, oh, well, that's just how it is. I get that. I'm telling you what I wish, what I want to see happen in this book. I want to see them do something of significance other than infighting and tripping over their own shoelaces. Because right now it really does. It feels like someone's underneath the bench that they're sitting on, tying their shoelaces together. It's time to fight, and they run and fall on their face. I need less Benny Hill moments from the Forsaken. I need them to be a threat again. So I don't know what might happen in this, but that's what I would like to see happen in this. I got to see the Forsaken be taken more seriously. And I don't think it's going to happen, but I do hope to see it happen. Another thing I don't think will happen is I'd like to see Elaine have her role reduced to the point where Egwene has been the last couple of books. I felt like when my hatred for Egwene was growing to like white hot levels, she kind of took a step back in the books, and it actually helped me not despise her so. And I still wouldn't say I'm like an Egwene fan at this point, but my ire towards her has greatly reduced since she's just been kind of hiding out with the split between the Aes Sedai. I feel like she's just kind of fallen to the background a little bit, and I like that for her. That's what I need to see happen with Elaine, because every one of these books, Jordan seems to insist on not only giving us more Elaine, but giving us more Elaine with her doing less. I don't even understand what is going on with Elaine at this point. Dude, just take the throne. Get it over with. I don't need all these little side stories of her. What's that guy's name? David Hanlon? That she made like her personal guard or whatever. We know he's dark friendly, so yeah, let's get a resolution of this quick, and let's just get her on that throne, and then let's move forward with her storyline. Because man, if I got to get another thing about her baths or her clothes or her drinking tea, I might actually throw it across the room. So yeah, I'd like to see Elaine's role reduced, even though I know it's not going to happen because apparently Jordan was in love with her or something. I have no idea what the fascination is with Elaine, but it's just the more I get of her, the less I like her. So I need her role reduced so I can read her chapters and not be hate reading them the whole time. That's where I'm at with Elaine, because I am the pilot of the Elaine hate train right now, and I need that to change. And I think giving her a reduced role would really, really help there. As for the ending of Winter's Heart, I want to know if Saidin being cleansed really changes anything. You know, men who can channel are still kind of considered abominations and threats, and, you know, they must be gentled. I don't think very many Aes Sedai have changed their standpoint on this, especially the ones that are actually in the tower right now. So just because Rand said, no, Ashaman are fine, I don't necessarily think that that's cool with everybody. So I got to know, did he actually change anything? You know, obviously it's going to be better for, you know, men channelers, but I don't know. I don't know. This is a big question mark for me. So I'd like to see that explained a little bit. Is it actually, is it as big of implications as it seemed like it at the time? You know, is the payoff as big about it? Although I've heard this book is basically just journal entries about everybody's opinion about what happened in that. I don't know if that's an accurate statement or not. But again, it is what it is. I'm going to keep doing these wish list videos until the end. This is my routine Tom, Loyal, and Lan plotline wish. Give them something to do, man. Tired of my dudes. It's like my 3 dudes who do nothing in this book. At this point, it's like, why do I still like them so much? You know, they're basically cameos at this point. So I would like them to have some kind of plot line. Again, spin them off with Julian Sandar or something and have them have like their own adventure. I'd be down with that. I'd be down with that for sure. Give them something to do, man, than just showing up and being like, yeah, we're still here. We're trying to escape Ibu Dar too. We're just still here. Oh, I'm writing a book. We're still here. Oh, and I need you. Let's like go be pillow friends or something. Give them something to do, man. They're such good characters, and I feel like you're wasting them. Even more so than Perrin. Like, at least Perrin's still like in the focal point of the story somewhat. These guys are just like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot you were standing there. That's how it feels with them right now. So, please, I'm going to keep saying it until something happens. Lastly, I would like Cad Swain to do something that proves her invaluable. You know, I know she pulled her own weight at in the end of the last book as Shadar Logoth. I felt like she showed that she can show up and she can kick some ass when she needs to. I can get that. But other than, oh, we want to make Rand smile again, can we give her something to do here? Because I've said this before. I know I'm repeating a lot of things here because a lot of things haven't changed in the way that I wanted. So I'm going to keep wishing for these things. That's why it's called a wish list. I want her, if she's going to be the Moraine replacement, to feel as valuable as Moraine felt. And I don't know, some people didn't take Moraine in as high as regard as I did. Apparently, I loved her. She was one of my favorite characters in the story. So when you're going to replace her with the Great Value version, and the Great Value version is just a little past its expiration date and a little funky on the edges, I would like to prove to me that, you know what, still that product still tastes good though. So show me something besides, oh, we're going to try to make him smile again and then slapping him across the head every time you see him. Give me a reason to care about Cad Swain. That's what I would like to see. Other than just because, well, you know, the story dictates that you got to have, you know, some kind of advisor. Give me a reason to care about this character. Because right now, the prologue of this book, she could fall off of a cliff and I'll be like, oh, well. You know, I would want a reason to care about this character. So have her, you know, bale-firing Bilal moment that makes her just like this super badass and makes you care about her. I need something like that from her. And don't think I'm going to get it because I know the fandom doesn't care for her either. So if she has a redeeming arc, I don't think it's happening in this book, at least a little bit. In the end, I just hope that all the hate that this book gets is just kind of overblown. You know, I said that I don't see how I could be disappointed with this book when I've basically been told, hey, here, it's a big old shit platter. You know, I don't think that I can look at that anyway and read it, and if it is a shit platter, be like, you know what, I'm disappointed by that. And I'll be like, it's pretty much what everybody said. So I just really hope it's just been overblown. You know, and I understand the whole slog. Yes, I do feel there is a slog. The slog is a real thing. But I also feel like the slog has been overblown. Does that make sense? I understand a lot of that comes from the people who are waiting, a couple years between these books. And I imagine you waited a couple years between books, and then like a certain character you love isn't even in it, or a certain character you love has one chapter and they do nothing. I kind of equate that to what I went through. I was reading Song of Ice and Fire for, decades before HBO even had the properties for it, or the licensing for it. And I remember when A Feast for Crows came out, and it felt like the wait had been forever, which is hilarious now. And it came out, and there was no chapters with Jon, Dany, or Tyrion, and I was just absolutely pissed. You know what? And then it was like another 6 years before we had the next book. So, it was almost a decade between knowing what happened to those characters. So I understand that that's kind of how people feel about this segment of the books. But again, I just hope all of the hate that this particular book gets is just kind of overblown. Because if I'm going to try to read 5 of these books in 50 days, I'd rather the first week not be just, oh my God, what am I doing right now? So it is what it is. I'm going to power through it like I power through Path of Daggers. That was the first one where I felt like I can see why a lot of people gave up on the series here. But, when you're on book 10, you don't give up. And I would never give up on a series that I put this much time into, and I want to see how it concludes. So that's not going to be any danger of actually happening. But, yeah, I need some of these wishes to be fulfilled, Robert. Before you leave us, I need you to fix some of these things. And, the one mantra I keep hearing is just make it to Knife of Dreams, man, and you'll remember why you fell in love with the series in the first place. So if this is the last hump to get over before that roller coaster finishes its climb and starts the downward thrust, so to speak, I'm just hoping that I can get there without too much misery. And again, I hope that this has just been overblown at this point. That's my biggest wish. I really, really hope that this has been overblown. But that's all I got for this one, guys. Thank you again for listening to me ramble. If you didn't catch the video that I did before this about Jordan Con, is if you wanted me to speed up my Wheel of Time stuff, it's going to happen because I'm going to Jordan Con in April, and I do not want to go with the ability of being spoiled. I don't want to spend a year in this universe and then have the ending spoiled for me by some kind of cosplay or something, So, or some kind of guest speaker. So I'm going to rush through these last 5 books, which is something I said I wasn't going to do, but desperate times call for desperate measures, and I'm going to do it. So I'm glad that you guys have stuck with me. Some of you guys have been with me since the very, very beginning, and I'm so happy to have you here. But if you just joined up yesterday, I'm also happy to have you here. I love it when you guys talk to me. Please don't drop any spoilers from 10 through 14 in the comments, but feel free to talk about the first 9 books, spoilery as you want, in the comments. And I'll talk to you guys there.